Sagar Parikrama Phase 3. Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying starts the Sagar Parikrama Phase 3 from Hazarika ports, Gujarat. Followed up the Sagar Parikrama Phase 1 March 2022 and Sagar Parikrama Phase 2 September 2022. Aim to initiatives to disseminate information on the various fisheries resulted scheme and program being implemented by the government. Projects and the government responsible for the fisheries project marine ecosystem and demonstrated solidarity with all fishermen and consulted stakeholders to directly interact with fisheries and fish farmers to understand the issue of coastal area and problems related to fishermen, balance the utilization of marine fisheries resources for food security with the protection of marine ecosystem. Collaboration. It is the collaboration between the Department of Fisheries Ministry and Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying and the National Fisheries Development about fisheries sector in the India. India is the third largest fisher producer, fourth largest exporter, accounting over 7% global fish production. India is third largest fish producer, fourth largest exporter, accounting of over 7% of global fish production, and second largest agriculture nation in the world after China. The sunrise sector provides livelihood supported directly about 280 lakh people. North India's first nuclear plants. North Indian first nuclear plant will be installed at Haryana, Gorakhpur. Features: Gorakhpur Haryana Anu Bidut Pariyojana. Gorakhpur Haryana Anu Bidut Pariyojana was 2 units of 700 megawatt capacity. Types of reactor: pressurized heavy water reactor, pressurized heavy water reactor, indigenous design. Nuclear power plant. North India first nuclear power plant will be installed in Haryana, Gorakhpur. North India's first nuclear power plant will be installed in Haryana, Gorakhpur. हरियाणा गोरखपुर विलेज फतेहपुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट इन हरियाणा. ठीक है. इंडियाज सिविल न्यूक्लियर प्रोग्राम एम टू जनरेटेड इलेक्ट्रिसिटी through nuclear power plants. It was started in the 1950s and today India's 22 nuclear reactor in operations. Three stage of nuclear program: first stage, second stage, third stage. First stage. The first stage involves using pressurized heavy water reactors. The second stage, फर्स्ट स्टेज ऑफ न्यूक्लियर पावर प्रोग्राम जो है वो है फर्स्ट स्टेज में होता है प्रेशराइज हैवी वाटर रिएक्टर्स. सेकेंड स्टेज में है इन्वॉल्व ब्रीडर reactor to producer more fissile material, and the third stage involve using thorium based reactors generated power. India successfully reached the first stage in 2013. India successful reached the first stage 2013. It is currently on second stage of program. Currently installed capacity of 6780 megawatt, 22,418 megawatt by 2031. Okay. Among these, 18th reactor are pressurized heavy water reactors and 4 are light water reactors. Rating of building of rating of building of the Area for digital connectivity. The Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. The Telecom Regulatory Authority of India (TRAI) recently released the recommendation of rating of building of areas for digital connectivity. Objective: it is to promote making digital connectivity infrastructure. Digital connectivity infrastructures an intrinsic part of building development plans similar to other building services such as water, electricity, etc. Recommendation: amendment in the model building bylaws, model building bylaws and nation building code of India, nation Building Code of India by Builder Agreement should specific requirements of DCI. DCI means Digital Connectivity Infrastructure System for rating building for DCI online of green building rating. TRAI. What is TRAI? TRAI is the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. It is a regulatory body. Regulatory body, the telecommunication sector in India, set up by the Government of India under the Telecom Regulatory Authority Act 1970, 1997. Telecom Regulatory Authority of India Act 1997. UPI pay linkage. As per of the government, India's UPI will be linked to Singapore Pay Now. Singapore, the first country with which cross-border person-to-person payment facility has been launched. Okay, remember in Singapore is the first country of the UPI payment facility. Acceptance of the UPI payment through QR code is the already available in the selected merchant outlets in Singapore. Of the total inward remittance of India is 2020-21, the share of Singapore stood 5.7%. Indian diaspora in Singapore, especially migrant workers, student, intense, intense and low cost transfer of money from Singapore. A student instantaneous and low cost transfer of money from Singapore of India and vice versa. Eliminate the risk of sharing bank accounts detailed by remitters. UPI both person to person, UPI both person to person P2P and person to merchant P2M. Okay, payments, and it also enable to user to send or receive money. It closely aligns with the G20. It closely aligns with the G20 financial inclusion prioritize of driving faster, cheaper and more transparent cross border payments. व्हाट इज यूपीआई यूनिफाइड पेमेंट इंटरफेस क्या है? यूपीआई क्या है जो हम लोग यूज करते हैं जस्ट लाइक अ फोन पे एंड गूगल पे, पेटीएम एंड अदर मोबिक्विक? व्हाट इज यूपीआई? इट इज द एडवांस वर्जन ऑफ इमीडिएटेड पेमेंट सर्विसेज, IMPS. IMPS run to the clock fund transfer services to make cashless payment faster, easier and smoother. It integrates multiple bank account into a single mobile application, merging several banking features, seamless fund routing and merchant payment into one hood. Operators: National Payment Corporation of India, NPCI. Origin: NPCI launched UPI with 21 member bank in the 2016. What is NPCI? What is the NPCI? नॉन नेशनल पेमेंट कॉरपोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया क्या है? एनपीसीआई नॉट फॉर प्रॉफिट कंपनी, एक प्रॉफिट वाली कंपनी नहीं है. कंपनी अंडर द कंपनी एक्ट 1956 के अंडर ये रेगुलेट हुआ. इट इज एन अम्ब्रेला ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉर ऑपरेटिंग रिटेल पेमेंट एंड सेटलमेंट सिस्टम इन इंडिया. It is an initiative of RBI and the इंडियन बैंक्स एसोसिएशन. एनपीसीआई है जो आरबीआई का और इंडियन बैंक एसोसिएशन का है, अंडर द प्रोविजन ऑफ पेमेंट एंड सेटलमेंट सिस्टम एक्ट 2007, पेमेंट एंड सेटलमेंट सिस्टम एक्ट 2007। रिलेटेड न्यूज जो करंट अफेयर्स में था, आरबीआई अलॉज यूपीआई बेस्ड ट्रांजेक्शन, आरबीआई अलॉज यूपीआई बेस्ड ट्रांजेक्शन ऑफ इन warded travelers to India, a facility to enable inbound travelers visiting India to make local payment using unified payment interface UPI. They are in India has been made available. To start with, the facility is available that travelers from G20 countries at the international airport of Bengaluru, Mumbai, and New Delhi. Eligible travelers would be issued prepaid payment instrument PPI prepaid payment instrument wallet linked to UPI for making payment at merchant outlets. To being with ICCI Bank, IDFC Bank, and two non-profit uh, prepaid payment instrument PPI issuer. Pine Lab Private Ltd, Trans Corporation International Limited, issue with UPI linked VATL. UPI linked wallet. Product linked initiatives. Products linked in next current affairs. Product linked incentive PLI, a scheme of pharmaceuticals. Department of Pharmaceuticals DOP has released the first tranches of incentives under the Product Linked Incentives PLI, a scheme of pharmaceutical under the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiatives of the government. The Department of Pharmaceutical launched by the PLI scheme, a scheme for pharmaceutical in 2021. Objective to enhance India's manufacturing capabilities and contribution to other contribution to product diversification towards high value goods in the pharmaceutical sector. Three different categories of products are being supported under the scheme. Category 1, biopharmaceutical complex generic drugs, patient drug nearing patients experiences, cell based or gene therapy drug, orphan drug, a special empty capsule, complex excipients. Category 2, bulk drug. Category 3, drug not covered under category 1 and category 2, such as repurposed drug, autoimmune drug, anti-cancer drug, etc. Related news of the product linked incentives PLI scheme for pharmaceutical. India has started making 29 out of 43 critical active pharmaceutical ingredients API that were earlier imported. API is a part of medicine, the other part being excipient chemical inactive substances that help deliver the API. API means medicines, the organs that produce an intended therapeutical effect. Example, in a painkiller crocin, API is paracetamol, relieves pain, while excipients are filler, binders, and preservatives. What is the full form of API? Active pharmaceutical ingredients. Fine. Next, FGD facility. The Singarani Thermal Power Plant. The Singarani Thermal Power Plant in Telangana, very important for 2024 prelims, is set to become the first public sector coal-based power generation station in the south and the first among the state PSUs in the country to have a flue gas desulfurization FGD plants to meet the green norms of cutting sulfur dioxide emissions to a safe level. About fueling, flue gas uh, desulfurization. Flue gas desulfurization FGD is a set of technology used to remove sulfur dioxide SO2 from exhaust flue gas of the fossil fuels power plants and from the emission of other sulfur oxide emitting processes such as waste inclination, petroleum refineries, cement and lime clients. Some method of FGD flue gas desulfurization, wet scrubbing, a spray dry scrubbing, wet sulfuric acid processes, SNOx, flue gas desulfurizations. No, dry dry sorbent injection system and others. Wet serving using a slurry of alkaline solvent, usually limestone or lime or seawater, to scrub gases. Spray gas scrubbing using similar solvent slurries. Wet sulfuric acid process recovering sulfur in the form of commercial quality sulfuric acid. SNOx fuel gas desulfurization removes sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and particulates from flue gases. Dry sorbent injection system that introduce powdered hydrate lime or other solvent material into exhaust ducts to eliminate SO2 and SO3 from processes emissions. क्लीन गैस यहाँ से जब निकल रहा है तो फ्लू गैस यहाँ से गया, ठीक है। फ्लू एग्रीगेटर है, ऑक्साइडिंग गैस है, जिप्सम नीचे से लाइमस्टोन, स्लरी, स्प्रे एरिया, डिमिस्टर एंड ये पंप है। दिस इज द फाइन। Next, phosphor, not phosphorus, phosphor gypsum in national highway constructions. National Highway Authority of India and Department of Fertilizers, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers are going to take up a field trials on the National Highway Authority of India NHAI project to use of phosphor gypsum, phosphor gypsum in national highway construction to achieve a circular economy in use to gypsum. ठीक है, about phosphogypsum. Phosphogypsum PG is a calcium sulfate hydrate formed as a byproduct of the production of fertilizers from phosphate rock. Gypsum and phosphogypsum definition, occurrence and production. Gypsum is a mineral containing calcium sulfate and it has molecular formula CaSO4 2H2. Phosphorus is by the hydrate calcium sulfate that form a byproduct fertilizer production from phosphoric rock. Occurrence in nature. Phosphogypsum synthetic production by mining or acquiring as a product of phosphate fertilizer products. Virtual trade corridor. Virtual trade corridor. India and UAE. India and UAE are exploring creating a virtual trade corridor to facilitate the QCar clearance of shipment. Under the proposal approval and clearance related to customs will be given online on the both side. It will allow the custom authority of the two countries to access pre-arrival information for uh, cargo movement, thereby making cross validation of the information significantly faster, facilitating the pre-clearance of goods. What is virtual trade corridor? A virtual trade corridor is an online platform that enables faster, more efficient custom clearance for the international trade between two countries. Significance: it will complement the bilateral comprehensive free trade agreement signed between India and the UAE in 2022. The uh, agreement immediately eliminated duties of 90% of India's export in the value terms, covering sectors like gems and jewelry, textile, leather, and engineering goods. The two countries estimate non-oil trade to reach 1,100 billion over the 5-year period implemented of free trade agreement. It will cut and the cost of the custom clearance and the speed of the bilateral trade. Related news: as per the RBI, after Russia trade settlement in India, rupee will soon as possible UAE, Malaysia, and Nigeria.